I'm Dr. Kongsak Tanphaichitr. Today we'll be talking about 24/7 mindfulness meditation or mindful awareness through body and mind movement. Why we need to meditate basically is because why does one suffer? One suffers often on one's own biased thoughts. Embedded with greed, hatred, delusion. The Buddha said the true nature of the mind is luminous, but tainted with transitory mental impurities. That means that those mental impurities is the gas that transit through, but it just start to home in because you are not aware of it. Allow it to stay there. It's not the true nature of the mind. So the world is being hit by two arrows. The first arrow is from natural pain or sabhava dukkha, like from sickness and death, aging, sickness and death. And the second arrow is from cetasika dukkha, or mental suffering, like depart from your loved ones, didn't get what you want, and got one doesn't want. Those are self-inflicted cetasika dukkha, which is basically the first noble truth. The five aggregates of clinging are suffering, as mentioned by the Buddha. So the enlightened ones, including the Buddha, being hit by the first arrow, he cannot escape that because it's a physical, natural pain. But he's not hit by, or all the noble ones are not hit by the second arrow because they were shot at but missed, because no mental suffering, no cetasika dukkha, as catching one's own thought as it arises. This is from Salatta Sutta. So the Buddha prescribed the four foundations of mindfulness, which has the benefit of it's the supreme path that will purify all beings, let one transcend grief, sorrow, lamentation, overcome suffering and unhappiness, and understand essential Dharma, the middle path, noble eightfold path, and realize nirvana, the unconditioned ultimate peace and happiness. Luang Por Kham Khin stated that the four foundations of mindfulness created the Buddha, and the Buddha in return advised to practice through these four foundations of mindfulness to liberate oneself from suffering. So why four foundations of mindfulness? Because it's a reverse engineering technique that will catch one's thought as it arises. The Buddha described a person or a life form as five aggregates of existence, or five groups of existence, namely form, body, including eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, where our sixth sense sphere perceive information, feeling, perception, thought formation, and consciousness. These form the five aggregates for a person. So he advises to self-observe the body, to see your form and body, and practice mindfulness on the feeling. Perception is to perceive things with mindfulness and self-awareness, mindful awareness, or pure perception without bias. Thought formation is to observe mental phenomena, and consciousness to observe the mind, to get rid of desirable and undesirable nature that drive us to commit action or karma, to please one's own phantom egos, which is not truly existing there. So no more driving force to commit karma. So what is mindfulness? Basically, it is to pay attention to the present moment with intention, while letting go of judgment or non-judgmental awareness. When one talk about mindfulness, in fact, it includes two virtues. One of them is sati, or mindfulness, is self-recollection, self-remembrance. And the second one is the self-awareness, sampajanya, which is clear comprehension, clear knowing, full awareness, conscious awareness, wisdom in action. These are the virtues of great benefit that will that you can carry on in daily life to live a full awareness in your life. So what is mindfulness doing? It sees or retrieves the phenomena. Like you go to the airport, they'll put you through gate A or C at the airport so that they can check you, is retrieve you there. And self-awareness, investigate phenomena. So it work together in conjunction. So Buddha advises to persevere or practice continuously, 24/7 on self-awareness, which will lead you to wisdom, and mindfulness or sati, to be mindful. And by perseverance you gain samadhi, steady mind, through self-observation, self-monitoring of body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena, together of desiring, undesiring nature that arise at the body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena. Kemananda stated that self-awareness basically is the Buddha. It is a roadmap as well as a treasure. When you practice this self-awareness and wisdom in action, it will take you to the treasure through this middle path of practice. Satya Narayana Goenka stated that self-awareness, sampajanya, is the Buddha's enlightenment. It's the Buddha's greatest discovery. And it's the Buddha's gift to mankind. So, it's been stated that everyone has Buddha nature. It's in everybody, a Buddha seed in everyone. So basically, Buddha nature already exists in everyone, regardless of age, sex, race, literacy, dialect, profession, or religious belief. So basically, it is this self-awareness of sampajanya, which is the Buddha seed of Buddha nature. So you need to cultivate that, so you gain this Buddha nature to see the true nature of things as you really are. Basically, Buddha stated that you yourself has to make the effort. The Buddhas only point out the way. So cultivating self-awareness, you gain wisdom, insight wisdom, and see, come to witness the true nature of your mind, which is neutral, equanimous mind, luminous mind, void of greed, hate, and delusion. When you meditate on mindfulness, mindful awareness, it's like playing musical chair. As mind can only engage in one mental object at a time. When one is aware or rule, unawareness or long would disappear or may long. It's like mindfulness retrieve the king on the throne. So he sees the king on the throne, so he won't go out there hunting or chasing girls. He's ruling with self-awareness, wisdom in action. So he's securing the fort, no enemy there attacking the fort. So biased perception would cause craving to please this phantom ego with your karma or action. The Buddha described how the mind and body function in the four foundations of mindfulness. Like we perceive things through six sense sphere, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. It activates corresponding consciousness when you see sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thoughts. Like eye consciousness when you see sight, ear consciousness when you hear sound, so on. Contact and feeling would arise, make you happy, unhappy, or neutral feeling, which is fruition, it's fixed. You can't do anything but to perceive it as it is. So next would be pure perception to see what you're experiencing, happy, unhappy, or neutral feeling. And then came bias perception, sanya chetana, very important because it's based on your phantom ego. Ego or self only exists temporarily. When your mind interacts with the environment, it generates a sense of self temporarily, transiently. And result in craving, disturbing thoughts, and obsessive thoughts when you start with this biased perception or sanya chetana. The same thing that neuroscientists see how we perceive things, like you see through your eye, ear, nose, and so on. Like you see a nice big house, a nice car, a good iPhone, and you see listen to good music and so on. And your brain perceives things, but also generate eye tag, a label. This is yours. Your music, and your house, your car, and your iPhone. And it turn out like the feedback loop when you perceive things through your eyes, the visual cortex, visual center in the back of the brain. Feedback loop to the midbrain is 5 times stronger. And it generates a self-image hologram that we cling to. Professor Damasio, head of neurology at Iowa, subsequently went to USC to head the neuroscience, neuroconsciousness center, stated that in parallel with generating mental pattern for an object, the brain also generates a sense of self in the act of knowing. But the Buddha stated it's not parallel, it's sequential. Sequential with generating mental pattern for an object, the brain sequentially also generates a sense of self in the act of knowing. Like from pure perception become biased perception. Sanya become sanya chetana, rooted in your ego. So you to please your phantom ego, commit your action, your crime over there. End up with second noble truth, cause of suffering, with sensual desire, liking and disliking. But with mindful awareness, it will cut you, release you. It ends at the pure perception, the third noble truth, no biased perception. So no more craving, no disturbing thought, no obsessive thought, no karma or action. as stated, a person's life form as form, feeling, perception, thought formation, consciousness. Form including body, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and thoughts. Feeling, perception, thought formation are mental activities that help you to see your mind, because mind is formless. You can observe them through these mental activities. So when we perceive things, in contact with things, it become endearing and pleasing from what we come in contact with. So you perceive it with pure perception, and in it with mindful awareness. You only perceive it like perceptual processing with Vedana and Sanya. It's active and neutral. It's pure perception, no craving. On the contrary, if you let it pass without, you're unaware, lack of mindful awareness, you're perceiving with conceptual processing, Sanya Chetana, end up with passive perception and Sankara is kind of like with bias. End up with craving, arise and sustain. That's how you end up with suffering. When you suffer because you're in the thought, deal with space and time, in the concept, time and space, not pure perception, not direct experiencing, savasang vedana. It's not mindful awareness, as being conditioned by one's own biased perception, sanya chetana. So you're in a conceptual phenomena, not ultimate reality. The Buddha described this as ignorance, or fool, being deluded, long, avijja, ignorance. Not knowing the Four Noble Truths, not knowing suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering with a path to end suffering. Not knowing you're being trapped in the thought of the past. The sixth one is trapped in the thought of the future. 7 is trapped in the thought of past into the future, like a stream of thoughts. And then not knowing that the present is basically based on law of causation, dependent arising. The Buddha said past is gone, future hasn't arrived yet. So when we trap into thought, you end up with in volition or sanya chetana. Volition, intention is karma. You commit action. So this is how we do self-observation, self-monitoring of body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena. Perseverance, practice 24/7 with self-awareness and mindfulness. To get rid of desiring undesirable nature. Can practice 24/7 formally, and informal become more important because we move all day long, breathe all day long. We can observe through them. Unbiased observation. Do not anticipate, do not indulge, do not intervene in the encounter phenomena. Remain equanimous. Set your mind with joy, relate to bliss, relate to calming of your body and mind. Allow happiness to arise. So a steady mind would occur. And with steady mind, you gain wisdom, inside wisdom. And so through a practice, you gain mental strength, mental concentration, samatha, and vipassana, insight, wisdom. As stated, informal practice allow you to practice with 24/7. So you can become aware when you're stepping forward or backward, looking ahead or sideways, stretching, bending, like rhythmic dynamic meditation, where they'll teach you. Getting dressed, eating, drinking, chewing, tasting, urinating, defecating. And when you walk, stand, sit, laying down. So the 4 major portions included in this practice. waking up, talking, or remain silent. The whole purpose is to awaken your body and mind, become aware of your body and mind. Suitability environment is when you can do it while you were cooking, washing dishes, walking, breathing, sweeping floor, or any place that allow you to gain self-awareness. That's the best place to practice. Doesn't have to be at home, at work, or at the temple. The best place is wherever you gain self-awareness. Domain is on body and mind, or name and form. Reality to see the three universal marks of existence: impermanence, imperfection, selflessness, unstable, unbearable, uncontrollable. So embedding mindfulness, not fixating mindfulness, like when you circle your fingers, you gain self-awareness in return. And you do a hand movement, put your palms on your thigh or your knee, tilt your right palm up, you bring it up to your chest, aware, bring it down to your tummy, aware, left palm, tilt up, aware, bring it up, be aware, to the side, down to your tummy, aware, slide your right palm up, aware, bring it out, you're aware, bring it down, turn it down, you're aware, left palm, slide it up to the chest, bring it down, turn it down. That's one cycle. Keep on doing. Do it with your eye open. So that way you become aware of yourself externally. Internally, you can aware through your posture, sitting posture, appropriate receptive sense. And this makes you aware of your body. It awakens your body. Aware of your mind, awakens your mind. Same awareness, but with different um, object of mental object for you to observe. So basically, you're not no wandering mind outside the cave, and not fixating your mind inside a cave. Lumpati advice, you practice as if you're standing at the cave entrance. Be aware internally in your mind, 60 to 70%. Externally, you're aware 30 or 40%. So you're not embedded in the fixate in the mental concentration inside your mind. You see the true nature of things outwardly as well, because it's easier to see outside of impermanence, imperfection, selflessness. And aware of your body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena, externally and internally. On your posture, you observe your body through proprioceptive sense, and your feeling, you observe happiness, unhappiness, neutral feelings internally. Externally, you can become aware of your body movement, and you feeling, you sense comfort, discomfort, externally or physically. In your mind, you observe the nature of your mind. Is it filled with desire, or of desire? Filled with anger, or of anger? Filled with ego delusion, or of ego delusion? Set your mind with joy, will lead to bliss, calming of your body and mind. Allow happiness to arise, and steady mind will occur. With steady mind, you gain insight, wisdom. And mental phenomena, you can observe the mental obstacle, hindrance, the five aggregates that we talk about, six sense spheres we talk about, seven factors of enlightenment, and four noble truth that we talk about. And you come to witness with wisdom the true nature of things, that things are impermanent, imperfect, and selfless in nature, a three universal mark of existence. This is the fourth noble truth. We practice the middle path. And you gain insight, wisdom to see the true nature of things. Mental change may be difficult to perceive as mind is formless. Mindful awareness, become aware of your body movement through dynamic meditation. You can catch a thought, mind movement. Physically, you can see change, like a toddler, a baby in the crib become a toddler and become a teenager, young man, middle-aged man, old man, and death. That different chapter, one-way street of the book. You can witness that there's no true permanent self. They are impermanence, unstable, obscured by continuity. Imperfection, unbearable, obscured by movement, and selfless in nature, bundling, obscuring the selfless, not self in nature. They only arise, endure, and cease as a norm. There's no true permanent self there. It's but selfless, or not self in nature. So we practice like this 24/7 on the four foundations of mindfulness, on the body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena. You come to witness the three universal marks of existence and impermanence, imperfection, selflessness. See that leading to inside wisdom. See that there's a burden of clinging, and see all phenomena are not worth clinging to. Might become disenchanted, discerned, and liberated.